You want to sell your soul? Are you looking to do that? I've already got this dork soul. Well, the price is a subscription to extratug.com. So come on through. I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting for you. I see ya.
Trick or treat. It's me, Big Tug, here for my little sweet treat. Might you have a sweet little treat for a polite lad like myself? Let's say an unwrapped Snickers full of razor blades. Or perhaps some Reese's Pieces, but some of the pieces are heart medication because you're trying to harm children for some reason. What's that? Something even more special, a video all about Halloween candy as the grand finale for Vaguely Spooky Month. Did you guys even care about Vaguely Spooky Month? You didn't comment a lot about it, and I put a lot of effort into these costumes. Anyway, Halloween. I'm gonna gloss over the fact I just got real anxious in front of you guys. People love it, Halloween. Almost a bit too much, I would say. My brother goes all out for Halloween, and he decorates it, and he's like a full-blown adult, and it's just for him and his girlfriend. I find that odd. Kids don't come to his house. Dex, come talk about that. Explain what you get out of Halloween to that degree.
It's just a vibe. It's cozy, and it's even better if kids aren't showing up, and you get to just keep all the candy. Yeah, it would be better if kids did show up. I wish kids showed up. Is that what you want me to say?
You ruin everything you touch. Get out of here. My brother is not a Chris, you might have to bleep that word. In the US, October has become a month-long celebration of evil-adjacent orange and black branding, one that rivals Christmas in terms of visibility and home decor. That's right, America's two biggest holidays are marked by front yard nativity scenes of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and 10-foot-tall skeletons you can get at Costco. And I really want one of those, but I don't have a front yard yet. And look, I'm sure a bunch of you are already getting heated and heading to the comments to lay down some true meaning of Christmas soliloquy that I will not read. Every time I see a comment over 2 sentences, you're out of my wheelhouse. But save it for your monthly cover meeting, okay? I don't know what a monthly cover meeting is. Jimmy wrote that. I would say save it for someone who gives a shit. We all know what Halloween really is about. Candy. And more specifically, mass hysteria about candy. Forget jack-o'-lanterns and spirit Halloween, it just wouldn't feel like Halloween without seeing a viral Facebook post about a homicidal trick-or-treaters or poisonous candy. But dear Tuglets, there's a darkness behind these sugary spooks. Just maybe not what you'd expect. I bet there's an ad right now.
But first, let's do an ad!
So I am afraid of the internet. For many reasons. Sometimes I see things I don't want to see. Sometimes my grandfather DMs me an AI video, just tuning me into the fact that our future is doomed. But mostly it's because I know evil people are trying to take my data at any chance they can get. That's why I personally use Surfshark to make sure that everything I do on the internet is between me and my guilty conscience. Surfshark, if you don't know, is a modern VPN designed with the user in mind. It protects you by securing your data using best-in-class features and measures, using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. I also love the fact that they use 100% RAM-only server network, so if someone raids their servers, they just turn those puppies off and everything's gone. Nothing is held in a real database, which is beautiful. Surfshark also has coverage of 100 countries, which is no other VPN has that. It's a fantastic milestone, but Surfshark also has a bunch of other cool features too. One subscription lets you use Surfshark on 1 million devices, unlimited devices. I'm not kidding. This is all the things you could use it on. I'm not gonna list them all out, but it is pretty much all of them. 24/7 top dog customer support, 30-day money back guarantee. And also you can dodge that dumb AI price discrimination thing people are doing where like you buy a ticket and it figures out how much you're willing to pay. So you use the VPN, you can get around that stuff. Pretty baller if I do say so myself. So if any of that interests you, boy howdy do I have a big old deal for you. Go to surfshark.com/BigTug and use code BigTug to get 4 free months of Surfshark. Once again, surfshark.com/BigTug, use code BigTug, 4 extra months of Surfshark, and you have a 30-day money-back guarantee. They're just giving you money. Surfshark, in a land of sheep, be a land shark. But I'm running out of steam on these taglines. More and more, I'm losing the magic. First of all, let me make one thing clear. Trick-or-treating f***ing rules. It's the best thing about, obviously the best thing about Halloween. Even though adults try to make it horny and scary, at the end of the day, the holiday prevails because it entices kids with 2 of our great American values. Freedom and sugar. God, we love sugar. It makes sense that kids go absolutely banana for Halloween. When you're little, your pretty much entire life is being told what you're not allowed to do. Not that it's absolutely a bad thing. For good reason, you're told not to put a fork in an electric socket, although it was pretty fun when I did it. And obviously you should never take candy from a stranger at like a playground or right outside your school. But that's what makes trick-or-treating so much fun. It's one night of the year when a lot of the rules don't apply. It's the purge for kids who enjoy that cop show with dogs. What the f is that called? Paw Patrol. It's Paw Patrol Purge. On this night, you're actively encouraged to do some light armed robbery. The funniest part of this one night only role reversal is the kids don't question it at all. One day, your parents just tell you you're gonna walk around your neighborhood wearing a mask and holding a literal money sack, a pillowcase, and your kid brain just goes, for sure, for a Whopper, I'm in. But recently it's got my big grown-up brain thinking, why the hell do we trick-or-treat in the first place? It seems really weird. Historians don't exactly know when October 31st became the ancient festival known as Samhain, or Samhain? I don't know. This is what it's spelled like. I'm gonna say Samhain. Some believe that it might have roots that stretch back 2,000 years or more, which would even predate the Celts, who are most known for celebrating it. Regardless of its exact origins, we know that at the beginning, it was a very sacred night, where folks gather around bonfires to offer sacrifices to pay their respects to the dead. Is it the Celts?
Like the Celtic?
What about the Celtics?
I don't know. That's the only reason I would think it's not Celtic.
Chris, leave this all in. We're morons. Celts or Celts? I'm glad you... We'll find out. Someone's gonna say it. Eventually, this led to villagers wearing animal skins to scare away ghosts. That's crazy. I feel like that would encourage ghosts to come hang out, but to each their own. And it's crazy to think about the dedication you would have to an event to wear just a dead animal on you. Like, this isn't like a costume of a bear. You're wearing a fucking carcass around your shoulders. Really takes sexy bunny costume to a whole new level because you would smell like dog surgery. Anyway, along came Christianity. Christianity spread to the Celtic or Celtic world around the 9th century AD, and eventually we were way more preoccupied with the Christian holy day known as All Saints or All Hallows Day, celebrated on November 1st. So October 31st became All Hallows Eve, which is where we get the term Halloween from, I guess. English language is a nightmare. It slowly devolves into dumb shit all the time. There was a lot of praying for dead people in purgatory going on, and somewhere along the line that allowed things to merge with old Samhain traditions, or Samhain, I don't know. Really though, I think a lot of people just wanted an excuse to dress up, because it's really fun. Anything you do fun back then, they bring you out the stake. So now when you dress up like a dead animal and they say, what the f are you doing? You could say, it's for Jesus, it's for God. And they'd have to let you do it, because if you did anything in God's name, it means it was good. I have a very loose, vague idea of what Christianity was back then. Halloween took on many of the old pagan customs, including bonfires and costumes. And they took things a bit further though, getting kids involved. In England, poor children would go out souling, S-O-U-L. This meant begging the rich for things called soul cakes, in exchange for praying for the souls of their dead families and friends. And I'm about to sound like an old man here, but I feel like children nowadays, they get candy way too easily if that's how this started. I live in a weird adults-only apartment where there are no kids. But if I did have kids near me, you better believe I demand them to pray for my dead grandmother in order to achieve a Milky Way bar. And I wouldn't explain much about it. Scotland and Ireland had secular versions of this called gooseying, where you'd go door to door with a hollowed out turnip for people to put coins into. No praying, just income. And that's what it's all about, baby. What the kids showing up with a pillowcase, where's your hollowed out turnip? But the kids didn't stop there. In the late 19th century, the US experienced a surge in Irish immigration, which was bad. Imagine being super racist against the Irish. And this was due in large part to the potato famine. Do we have any Irish in our blood? I don't think we do. We do?
Yeah.
Potato munchers. Between 1845 and 1855, over 1.5 million Irish immigrants settled in America. They brought their traditions of gussying to the States, and like all good things they brought to the great US of A, we did what we do best. We combined it with the concept of violence. From the late 19th century to the early 20th century, the focus was more on the tricks rather than the treats. Halloween night became a brutal night of mischief for the children, to the point where the kids were more scaring the adults. The pranks started in more rural areas, with kids tipping over outhouses and opening gates to let out livestock, which I've never been a farmer, but I cannot imagine waking up and my gate is open and all of my cows are not where they're supposed to be. That's gotta be like 12 hours of hard work moving cows. I don't know how you even move a cow. Do you push it? I don't know what you would do for that. Children started pulling full Looney Tunes type hijinks, like deflating car tires and erecting fake detour signs to cause confusion on the road. And this then escalated to running through the streets and just knocking over people, like tripping pedestrians, which is assault. And then escalated even further where they would just take bags of flour and whip it at people's faces, or they'd fill up socks full of ashes and throw it at people. That would make me so unbelievably pissed to get a face full of ash from a punk, and you can't even beat them up because of laws. They get really mad if you hit a kid under 18. In Kansas City, tricksters used candle wax on streetcar tracks running down a steep hill, causing 2 cars to collide and seriously injuring a conductor. In Tucson, kids stretched a wire across the sidewalk to trip pedestrians, and one fallen adult got so mad he pulled out a gun and shot one of the children, which... I mean, I made a joke about hitting kids. You should never shoot a kid. Maybe hit one, but that seems like a big step in the wrong direction. They set fire, broke windows, and even seriously hurt adults. The children, to this day, yearn for the purge and mines. Children yearn for the mines. They also mine Chris, I don't know what you're gonna do with this. By the time the 1930s rolled around, many communities were pretty much fed up with Halloween. But then, as luck would have it, World War II happened. Serendipity. Nothing takes the steam out of a night of hijinks like some serious international conflict. Your daddy's not coming home. Sugar rationing meant there wasn't much candy to go around, certainly not enough to be giving it out for free. Plus, now the adults had the ultimate weapon, patriotism. Kids were told that pranks could threaten the war effort. For example, kids in San Diego were informed broken glass could puncture the wheels of an army truck. Also, look at this racist ass, Chris, it's in the script, look at this racist ass drawing of the kid and like the Asian dude telling him to break shit on Halloween. Come take a gander at this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
seriously. I don't even know what that dude's face is supposed to be.
I do, but I don't think. Maybe I just did.
Or also, the Des Moines Register warned against tricks of ringing doorbells late at night because it could disrupt the sleep of someone who needed their rest to work in a factory producing much needed munitions for the war effort. It was the perfect way to make kids stop doing bad things. Because you look at him, you look at your child and you say, oh, you want to go do a prank? Do you love Hitler? You big into that? Go get yourself a red armband, you little Nazi. Instead, parents could keep local kids more under control with community Halloween parties. By the time the war was nearing its end, Halloween came back in a big way. In 1944, the San Diego Union reported that early on Halloween night, a tiny voice came over the telephone to the downtown police desk asking, is it all right if I go to houses and push the bell and say, treat, treat? That's a real quote. That's adorable. I'm a full-grown adult, so I can't do a little kid voice, but just imagine a little girl saying that. It's cute. And then the sergeant on duty said, aw, shucks. I guess so. Go out there and get yourself some candy. The war's almost over. Hitler was defeated, and more importantly, Halloween was saved forever. Wish I had a big book. Like I just read you guys a bedtime story. I don't have that. I don't read books. Trick-or-treating became a huge part of kid culture, this time a more parentally controlled, treat-focused way. It was referenced in the Peanuts comic strip in 1951, and the next year hit the screen as the Donald Duck cartoon short, Trick or Treat. And of course, capitalism happened, and candy companies saw this as a massive opportunity to sell a ton of candy. So they quickly pounced on the idea of the holiday with major ads that not only sold candy, but sold the idea of trick-or-treating. The advertising and pop culture references were effective in turning Halloween from a night where kids terrified adults into a wild moneymaker for big Snickers. Halloween candy reached sales of nearly $4 billion a year, which is equivalent to about 600 million pounds of candy, which is a ton of candy. According to a 2020 survey, the average American eats 3.4 pounds of Halloween candy annually, and it's estimated that some kids might consume upwards of 7,000 calories from candy on October 31st alone. I almost got through that whole thing. So, it's no surprise that upwards of 20% of American children are obese, dreadfully obese. But we're having fun. It's Halloween, But as dark as that is, I'm not here to pass judgment on how you treat your own life and also your fat child. But what I will do is pass judgment upon your favorite Halloween candy. So I'm gonna take a bunch of candies that you guys submitted and give it a scarf or barf rating. That's a Jimmy exclusive. Scarf or barf, that's a fantastic smash or pass. Making fun of your favorite candies. Up first, wax lips. Have you ever been given wax lips in your... I don't know. I mean, obviously I haven't trick-or-treated in a long time, but if they put wax lips in my bag, if I had a gun, you have to make a conscious effort to find these wildly, barely nostalgic candies in any store. The place that still sells candy cigarettes or those circus peanuts. You have to go to the front of a, what are they called? Oh my God, what's the place that sells old-timey food? Cracker Barrel. You have to go to a Cracker Barrel to find this dumbass candy. But there was a time where wax lips were synonymous with trick-or-treating. I guess the appeal of wax lips is that they're goofy, like you put them in your lips and then now you have a silly mouth, but it's not candy. You're not supposed to eat them. Pretty much the only thing you were supposed to do on it was chew on it like it was gum. And yeah, sometimes they were flavored a little bit like cherry, but at the end of the day, you're gnawing on a cherry-flavored candle. To me, it seems like they really invented this candy before they discovered why people would ever want to eat candy in the first place. I mean, maybe they were a few years away from like Laffy Taffy, which is pretty much edible wax, but you could eat, I don't know. Terrible. Wax lips, F tier. I don't know if there's a tier list, Chris. Just put the letter F up. I'm not gonna make you do all that work. All right, next up, individually wrapped Twizzlers. The f are we doing? Now, I know a lot of people say Twizzlers aren't actually licorice. I don't know the rules. I know if you say licorice and you give me black licorice and you don't give me a Twizzler, that's a dick move. But I understand that it's not technically licorice. I do know though that you should be giving me a full pack of Twizzlers and not one Twizzler. That's insane. Individually wrapped Twizzlers is the textbook definition of phoning it in. They're also always like 3 inches. Like a real Twizzler, about yay big, but individually wrapped ones are this big. And don't get me started on the not real Twizzlers, because there's the Twizzlers and then there's like the peely Twizzlers that are sometimes rainbow or different fruit flavors, and those suck big balls. Big balls, those things suck. Once you unwrap a Twizzler, they go stale unbelievably quick. But the only reason people buy these is because they can hand out one at a time, and I understand that Halloween candy is extremely expensive right now, but they're cheaping the hell out. If you hand out one Twizzler to a child when they come to your house, you deserve whatever rock gets thrown thrown through the glass. F tier, awful. I'm pretty sure all of these are gonna be F tier. Okay, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. These are actually good. These are actually bomb. We're gonna throw some haymakers in here. They're probably the GOAT, probably the greatest of all time. When you're trading Halloween candy with your siblings at the end, that's the creme de la creme. You want that in your bag at the end of the night. You can tell Halloween candy is good when your dad asks for the dad tax, he reaches in there and takes 3 of them out. I almost never got Reese's Cups when I was a kid because my dad would take all of them. Same goes for the Reese's Pumpkins. You know, like they make the big ones, Reese's Pumpkins, where it's mostly peanut butter? I'm an adult and I go to the store and I buy those because those are so good. But the one thing that takes it down a peg is the fact that they all come with little tiny panties on them. The Reese's Cup comes with a little delicate panty that you have to rip off, and I feel like I'm doing something terrible. I didn't ask it for permission. So overall, I'll give it an A. A. The only reason I don't like it is because it makes me feel like a pervert. Next on the list, and this is a very divisive one, but Tootsie Fruit Chews. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's the Tootsie Roll, which is chocolate, but then they have different fruit flavored ones. And you either are all about these or you hate them with a passion. I mean, Tootsie Rolls themselves are pretty underrated. Like as a kid, you never really reach for them, but once you have one in your hand, you remember, oh yeah, chewy chocolate is usually pretty awesome. So I don't know, I don't understand what's going on with the fruit chews, the Tootsie Fruit Chews. I feel like I would just eat a Starburst if I wanted something like that. They come in cherry, lemon, orange, lime, and vanilla. I used to love the vanilla ones, but that's not really a fruit chew. But yeah, overall, I mean, unless you grew up with these, if you want a fruit chew, you would get a Starburst. That's a better version of what's going on here. The flavors in the fruit chews are a little bit more mild, so maybe if the cherry and Starburst really kicks your ass, you'd go for the cherry Tootsie Pop roll thing. Yeah, I don't know. If someone put a fistful of these in my Halloween bag, I'd always be like, thanks, I'll eat those at the end. C tier, not great. Okay, now in these polarized times, I feel a little bit guarded about expressing my final opinion about Halloween candy. And this Halloween candy is candy corn. It's ass. I'm sorry. It is disgusting. Dex?
Yeah, no, trash.
It tastes like, it's terrible. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. I'm in the hate camp. I hate candy corn. One, I have a lot of reasons. One, they give it to you unwrapped. There's no other candy where they just dump in the treat with all the other candy. That's this, a grown man's hand touched my treat that you want me to put in my mouth. That's disgusting. But regardless of how you feel about it, these little nuggets of sugar and corn syrup are forever tied to Halloween. And I guarantee you the companies that make these little diabetes bites don't care what they taste like as long as people keep buying them. Over 9 billion pieces of candy corn are manufactured every year, and people spend around 60 million on it annually. If you're a sugar fiend, you probably love the fact that a handful of these babies send your insulin levels to the goddamn moon. But besides just being sweet, they don't really have, there's no flavor to candy corn. It's just sugar. Thankfully though, candy corn is not normally thrust upon you. There's usually a bowl of them at your grandmother's house that you can pick around, and the pumpkin shaped ones are fun. I don't know, it's a fun texture to bite into. Still tastes like shit, but it's not something usually passed out to trick-or-treaters. It just comes in a big old bulk bag. So you may be saved there, but overall, I think they're disgusting. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I'm a rube, but I think they're disgusting. F. It's time for the bit of the video you're all waiting for. The horrifying case of deadly Halloween candy, striking children down from their teeny tiny costumes. The numbers are absolutely staggering. Every year, the amount of children that are killed by just horrible candy that is made by adults to harm children is absolutely zero. That never happens. It never happens. I don't know why this becomes a big thing every goddamn year. Even though every year parents are lectured about checking their kids' candy for razor blades, a lot of the hysteria surrounding unwrapped candy is unfounded. What we need to realize is that this country has always been pretty goddamn weird. I mean, we had the satanic panic of the 80s where metal bands were put on trial and Dungeons and Dragons were accused of coercing kids into worshiping Satan. And this one takes the biscuit because it combines all of the things that makes a great news story. Danger to children, contamination of food, distrusting your neighbors, and being spooky. All of those things will make a Midwestern mom want to cry. So it makes sense that parents would see unwrapped candy and think, okay, well that Snickers is probably laced with something that will turn my 8-year-old into a full-blown drug addict. That's probably what's happening in my neighborhood where I know everybody. As soon as candy became pivotal to Halloween, hysteria over poison versions of it started to spread. In the early 20th century, the first rumor claimed that a poisoned batch of candy had killed several kids. Turns out that those kids had died from meningitis. Not exactly the same thing. It's a bummer, but it wasn't poisoned candy. However, at the risk of sounding like an overly concerned parent, sometimes candy is messed with. In 1959, a dentist in California waged war on Halloween by passing out 450 pieces of chocolate-covered laxatives. Now, this sounds really crazy and messed up, especially since the doctor's name was dentist William Shine, but it really happened. He handed out poop candy, and it also seems like this dentist was biting the hand that fed him a little bit. I mean, if the kids are eating a bunch of candy, their teeth are gonna be f***ed up, and then you make money, doctor. You didn't think this through, Dr. Man. About 30 kids got really sick, and he was found guilty of outraging the public decency, and he was barred from dentistry for 2 years. Ironically, giving kids chocolate laxatives probably did the same thing that eating all the candy would have done in the first place, because any trick-or-treater worth their weight in sugar will be Hershey squirting all over the toilet bowl after their sugar purge. Did not. Jesus. Jimmy, that's crazy. Even though this is a fairly low level of poisoning, it was a catalyst for hysteria, and rumors of laxative chocolates persist among overly concerned parents to this day. In 1964, another Halloween poisoning took place on Long Island, which is not where you want to be ever. Helen Fail, a 47-year-old housewife, was annoyed that many trick-or-treaters at her door were too old for the activity. So she decided to play a trick on those teenagers. While she was handing out normal candy to the little kids, to the teenagers, she decided to prank them a little bit by giving them rat poison. Not really a prank there, Helen. Also, she didn't stop there. She also loaded up their bags with steel wool and dog biscuits. Okay, rat poison I get. You know, not a great thing to do, but a classic poisoning gag. Classic goof. But steel wool and dog treats? I don't know. I think she was just mentally ill. Helen claimed that it was just a joke, especially as the inedible objects weren't disguised in chocolate or anything. But the judge, as most judges do, didn't find it funny at all. She was sentenced to 60 days in a psychiatric hospital, which, in her defense, in what I believe, that sounds like a crazy person. What kind of prank is handing out steel wool? She was just doing crazy shit. She needed help. But some of the most deadly instances of poisoned Halloween candy actually came from families poisoning their own kids. Like in 1970, when a 5-year-old Kevin Totston died after slipping into a coma, the cause of which was later revealed to be. Investigators found the drug to be sprinkled literally all over his stash of candy, which confirmed many parents' worst fears: the strangers are drugging our kids with addictive drugs. However, further investigations led to his uncle's very poorly hidden stash of. It was found that Kevin accidentally ate a capsule of H, and the family tried to cover it up by planting drugs in his candy. So he wasn't actually drugged at all, he just was digging around where he shouldn't have been and ate a pill. But just because Halloween candy poisoning is super rare doesn't mean there's something darker going on. After all, there's a true malevolent spirit operating under all of this, and it's capitalism. It's always capitalism. I'm really getting worried because like Trump is deporting people for being not American, and I'm not a communist, but I really lean into that bit. And some people have been DMing me saying like, you need to kill yourself, commie, and I don't believe that much. It's not necessarily an international thing, but everything from the local news to community Facebook groups know that hysteria sells. They'll get crazy attention for a post or a story talking about it, and they could basically put out the same story every year and let the comment section take off on which minority to blame it on. Plus, remember those candy companies? Those ones that make $4 billion annually from selling candy on Halloween? Well, candy apples and other homemade goodies used to be the norm for trick-or-treaters, but all that panic has helped make individually wrapped store-bought candy the absolute norm. So I doubt any of them assholes are really in a fury to really defend people from making their own candy. They lean into it. Plus, in all the chaos, people miss some of the bigger trick-or-treating dangers, like the flammability of children's Halloween costumes. They are unbelievably flammable. Remember that princess costume I wore a couple episodes ago? I lit a smoking. It will almost went up like a goddamn cotton ball. It was insane. Or the fact that 4 to 8-year-olds are more likely to be struck and killed by a car on Halloween than any other night because it's dark out, they're wearing dumb little costumes, and people get drunk and drive around all the time. That's what you should be worried about. GMC.
What is GMC?
The car company.
Why are you saying that?
Because they're killing kids with the big cars. Leave it in, Chris. All right, so on that depressing note, I was going to talk about like what your Halloween costume says about you. I don't think we're coming back from parents poisoning their own kids with candy or just hitting kids with GMCs. I don't care, they don't sponsor me. Halloween has always been transactional. What began as a tool for warding off evil spirits with offerings became a way of begging for food and spreading Christianity, and evolved as a way to appease violent youths with the promise of candy. But even though the Halloween season has evolved, it always lands on one thing: trying to sell you something. Like a big bag of pre-wrapped candy or a $4 a month subscription to extratug.com. Well, pretty good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me know your least favorite Halloween candy down in the comments, one that absolutely pisses you off. For example, we talked a lot about Whoppers today. I hate Whoppers. I think they're disgusting. Like, comment, and subscribe. I actually do all those things. New videos every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday. And check out Extra Tug. I mentioned it a couple minutes ago, but it's $4 a month. You get 4 videos every week. No, not every week. Sorry. Every $4. You get 4 videos every month, 1 every week. And they're dirty. They're crazy. You're gonna love them. You're gonna absolutely love them. And you get your name at the end of the video, which is really crazy. They're going on right now. That's a lot of people. They can't all be wrong. Can't all be wrong. Chris is gonna blow his brains out having to type all these names out because you guys keep subscribing and it's fantastic. Yeah, happy this is the last one. Happy Halloween, guys. Thank you for joining me for Vaguely Spooky Month. You want to say something at the end here, Dex?
Tucker said Gussy like 8 times this video and I didn't say anything about it.
Gussy?
You said, were you not saying Gussy?
What are you talking about?
You said that the thing that they brought over was Gussy.
What are you talking about?
You said that the people from like Sweden or something, right? Brought over Gussies? Am I completely wrong?
I have no if you guys know what he's talking about, let me know.
I'm pretty sure you talked about it several times.
Gussy?
Gussy.
We'll see. I have no clue what you're talking about.